My favorite memory is meeting Ray on a beautiful sunny day on a snowy mountain when we both ended up skiing in the same ski area. We skied together the rest of the day after we met, and Ray took me back to the university, and that was the beginning of our 75-year relationship. Not only has he shown how to give to the world through his science, but he was anxious to become a Rotarian when he retired, because in Rotary you're able to give to the world in a different way. And Ray was very important in taking in a project that brought cataract surgeries to several hundred people in Bangladesh, and he helped to create a program where other Rotary clubs joined in and made that possible. And also with an education program in the Philippines, where he was instrumental in organizing teachers to teach young farmers to diversify their crops so that they could become more self-sustaining.
Dad had a number of patents, discoveries related to their GE's television sets. When televisions had a big cathode ray tube and you had electrons coming out at one end and going directed towards a phosphor screen, and he created, helped GE make small spots and good resolution TVs. I was looking at some of the things that Dad did just a couple of weeks ago. There was some sort of a description that I came across of a gas purifier that you did that took the purified hydrogen gas, I think, and by filtering it. Then there was the miniature mass spectrometer that Dad worked on with Peter Dawson, and where they created, usually a mass spectrometer is typically 18 inches or so long, and they created one that was, a lot of the guts of it was essentially a couple inches by a couple inches, about a cube size.
We went to the hospital with a presenting stroke, but we were looking at some other things, looking at prostate cancer, and there got the diagnosis of that's really the problem. I think what has been most frustrating for Dad is actually the recovering from the stroke, for the reasons that we've been talking about. But he's been incredibly healthy, working out here in this community. You're supposed to work 4 hours a month. Each adult is supposed to work 4 hours a month for the community out in the gardens. And I think Dad has done 10 years of work for the family already, going out and building the gardens. Someone who is incredibly interested in the world and how it works.
This says publications and Rey Whetten, dated from 1954 to 1974. And in here are copies of the original patents. The first one, the reduction of secondary electron emission. The abstract is here, the patent number is here, and there are 25 original patents for devices that were invented by Rey. There were 3 very large pictures.
My name is Nathan Rey Whetten. Rey is R-E-Y. Try to do as well as you can in both academic and social. If there were much more equality, I think society could be far better. I mean, I think that, you have to face it, poor people start out as underdogs and they have problems all along the way. That there are very rich people who basically don't have those problems. And so yeah, I think we're doing, in some respects we're doing a lousy job in equalizing life. Well, one thing would just be as much as you can to help other people. I think that's really important. I think other things are to study a lot and try to find things that you're particularly good at, or that you particularly like, and learn those things in a little more than others. But I think just being a good citizen is the main. Try to do a good job. Yeah.
My first memory is Tim and I were starting to live together, getting married, whatever. And these 2 came out to visit us, Ginny and Rey, and we took them contra dancing, which is something that we did and were quite fit about, And I warned these older couple to be careful and not to overdo it on the dance floor, because a contra each one lasts about 15 minutes, and so it's hard work. And by the end of the night, I realized that they were jocks. This was not at all a stretch for them.
Granddad, he had to, as the biggest of the family, test out the ice. So I remember him going and me just feeling so excited and also safe. I was like, oh, if it could handle Granddad, the ice could definitely handle me. And yeah, a lot of loving memories. Also the summertime, he used to take us on his boat. And I love that, yeah. A lot of lake memories, but he was always present. I think Granny mentioned him being home for dinner with his kids. Obviously I wasn't born yet, but I remember him being home every time I saw them. And all my years, I remember him and he was the same man, same loving figure, welcomed us in his home. And just was always there, and that is huge. That consistency of love, that presence, he really did make time for his grandchildren and for his family.
You have guided our children I've noticed that because you never give advice in a bombastic way, that our children and even some of their children have always felt free to come to you, Ray, ask questions about their lives, and you listen to them, and when they have finished talking with you or asking you for advice, they always go away knowing what to do. That the way you advise is through listening, through the generosity of your listening.
One of the things that I think is important are the sort of the strands of continuity between the different generations, the thoughtfulness that has been a part of our lives, my life, my siblings' lives, my kids' lives now, and how sort of thoughtfulness and compassion and grounding that has been sort of strands of connection throughout our family, through over multiple generations.
Let's see, I have a list here. Look, you guys have been extremely easy to work with, very adaptive. No complaints whatsoever. I think you've all done, and I really do mean all, have really done a great job. Thank you for it. Can you hear any of it?
I think I picked it up.
You're gonna have to say everything he said if he didn't pick it up.